Kyoto called Camellia TeaCeremony. And she has so many wonderful insights about tea ceremony culture and heritage, as well as many insights about wonderful places to visit and see in Kyoto. So thank you so much for joining, Atsuko.
Thank you for inviting, and hello everyone.
Would you give a little introduction about your business and yourself and maybe your beautiful kimono that you are wearing?
Thank you. So I'm Atsuko Mori. I founded this Camellia TeaCeremony. Now it's like 8 years ago. We kind of lost 1 year, like last year. This 18 months has basically nothing. But I'm still here, alive, happy, and very healthy.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about what you've been doing in transition a little bit later, trying to do online tea ceremony or trying to sell face masks and
Yes.
doing other things, keeping busy, right?
Yes.
And when you stood up earlier, I saw your beautiful obi. You're wearing, as you said earlier, a little bit of a lighter kimono. It's still warm, even though it's technically autumn. Is that right?
It's true, yes. We will have to rethink about this season of the kimonos. That still today is expected to be like 29 degrees in Kyoto, and not that humid, but still it's quite warm. So I'm still wearing this summer kimono that's kind of like half transparent. You can see.
Yeah. Is it made from linen or cotton? What kind of material is it?
It's silk.
Silk.
But it's very, very thin layer. So we can still survive this hot summer. But if it's middle summer, no, you shouldn't wear it. It's too hot.
Too hot, right? And before my computer crashed earlier, we were also introducing a beautiful heritage kimono from your parents that they gave you the material of when you were a child, and you've been able to use it in different ways. And that's one of the wonderful things about kimono, how you can use it for such a long time over generations, right?
Yes. So I have lots of kimonos from my mother is actually very small, so it doesn't really fit to me. But my aunt, that's my mother's sister, is as tall as me. So I have lots of kimono from her. And this picture that you are seeing now is it's one of the kimonos that my grandfather gave it to me when I was little. And it's I'm already over 40, so I shouldn't really wear this pink, like cute ones. But
it's gorgeous.
It's too beautiful.
You can wear it forever. Yeah, you don't have to follow that. And the kimono that you're wearing now, you have a beautiful bright orange obi. Can you show us that?
Yes. Okay, let me show. Can you see it?
Oh, gorgeous.
Over there. Yes. So here is autumn. You see that? Can you show backside?
Yeah, gorgeous.
Yes.
The maple leaf, is that right?
Yes.
And tell us about the room that you're in. It's very beautiful as well.
This is the we have two tea shops, tea houses, and one is called Flower, that is near Kiyomizu Temple, and this one is called Camellia Garden, that is near Ryoanji Temple. So these two are totally from the east and west of Kyoto City, but this one is just really gorgeous house, and I'm very happy to have you in this gorgeous setting. So this house is, if you can see, because of the lighting, it's not always easy. Vacancy is very old style set building. That this is 99 years old and almost hitting the 100. But so the owner of this house is kind of like a landlord around this area, and the current owner is actually 22nd generation, so he can really go back about 500 years of his family. And his great grandfather was like a temple and shrine architect, so he designed this house and built it about 100 years ago. So this his family always lived in this house, and so about 4 years ago, his parents are both deceased, so they decided to use this house as like a culture interaction place, and they found me, and here I am. So I'm very, very happy to show this beautiful house.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous.
This
And
way,
of course,
this way.
a very interesting and important part of sustainability is preserving these old buildings that have so
Yes.
much gorgeous wood and beautiful design, but also rich history and heritage. So it's fantastic that
It is.
your business has been able to make use of these wonderful buildings.
Mm. So this the owners, they actually both quite international people. That they both speak English very well, and when they found me and that I introduced tea ceremony to the world, is that they were like, all right, this is the person to talk to, and so yes, that was a very mm, great meeting, and when he explained about this house, and he said he wants to keep this tradition and want to use his house, his family house, as the historical center and culture center for everyone, Japanese, non-Japanese, for everyone, then yeah, like a perfect match.
Yeah, wonderful. I'm
Mm.
showing the picture now of you from your website standing in front
Mm.
of the front gate, and there's a
It is.
beautiful garden before the house, and then
Mm.
behind you there's a hanging scroll and a
Mm.
flower display. Can you give
Yes,
us a
yes.
little explanation of what's behind you?
Okay, let me just come closer. So, right, this area is called Tokonoma. That's where like the center of a house, and we also always decorate this area depending on the season or the occasion. And for tea ceremony, we usually put some like Zen important words. So today's one, thank you. So today's one, it's called 茶前長寿、茶これ長寿したまらへん。茶これ長寿の友 means that tea that is the friend of long life. So perfect, that green tea is kind of proving that it's the healthiest food in the world. So this really is our perfect word. And the flowers, so these are, all of them is like a very autumn flowers. Okay, I'll come closer. よいしょ。例が Right, so in the basket, it's the beautiful shape of the basket. We have this the mukuge, lindo, and this is like a little watermoko. So we want to also recreate like a season that, because usually the tea houses are in a like closed room that here we have this big window, you can see the garden, so you can really feel the season together. But usually like tea houses are like small like hut that do not have big window, but when you go inside you still want to feel the nature. So we use the seasonal flower to for the guests to feel, oh yeah, that's nice autumn time.
Yeah, wonderful. Seeing the view of the garden, seeing the tea ceremony, experiencing the tea ceremony, but also having natural light. These are such beautiful elements of tea ceremony. On your social media, you shared some other beautiful old Japanese houses, garden views. I'm
Mm,
showing one with one of my favorite types of window, the round window, or
mm,
looking out at the green garden with the paper shoji sliding doors, similar to the room you're in. This is
yes.
gorgeous.
Mm, it is. It's yeah, it's like a photo frame that you can see through. So now this is like in the summer, so you can see the beautiful green. But soon, it's going to be become red, yellow, orange. So the picture, this natural picture changes.
Ah, gorgeous. And that seasonality is reflected in so many things about tea ceremony. The tea doesn't change, but the type of sweets or the type of ikebana flower arrangement
Mm,
or the type of view. Are there other things that change? I guess the hanging scroll also changes, right?
they do too. It can be seasonal or it can be the occasional. What occasion of the tea ceremony. Sometimes it's like a send off of your like friend to another place. Then we put have a great life, safe journey, that kind of words. It also can be basically everything like a tea bowls. The design of the tea bowl changes, even like tea caddy, the size um, or the shape also changes there with some shelves. Basically, everything is just very seasonal, and so that's why we have a lot to remember, lots to think when we do the tea ceremony.
Something very special this month is with chrysanthemums.
Mm,
And we showed your beautiful heritage kimono from your family before. And you also introduced so many wonderful things about chrysanthemums in Japanese culture and history and heritage, including some beautiful sweets, chrysanthemum
mm.
themed sweets.
Mm.
Absolutely gorgeous. Can you tell us a little bit about what's special about this month in terms of chrysanthemum themes?
Mm. So this month, it's September. It's 9, and on the 9th, it's the uh, it's the it's the number of like one. Uh, 1 1 is it's a New Year's Day. 3 3 is the girls' day. 5 5 is the boys like children day. 7 7 is the Tanabata. And the last biggest number is 9, and so September 9th is that we have the biggest the number combined. So this month is the time of the receiving the energy, receiving the life energy of the life. So and the flower is the chrysanthemum. So on 9th of September. It's called Choyo, and we celebrate our like a long life. We pray for the long life. So over the night, we put like a little cotton ball on top of the chrysanthemum, and the chrysanthemum will catch the scent and also the dew, like morning dew, and you actually squeeze the water, like dew from the cotton ball, and put it in like a sake or a tea, and when you drink it, it's kind of like you receive the energy from the chrysanthemum. So
How
yeah, that's why.
interesting. Yeah, you mentioned on social media that in the olden days they used to, like you said, put some pieces of cotton in the chrysanthemum tree or flower bed and collect the dew, and then that was considered like a healthy thing to do, like a cleansing or a
Mm-mm.
detox, as we say nowadays, right? I found that
Yeah.
so
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
Ingrid
sometimes when you go to
Ingrid
like a
says as well, put it on your skin as well is good, right? The dew from the
chrysanthemum,
chrysanthemum.
the
Mm,
dew, yeah, yes. You can eat it too, right? You can eat chrysanthemum.
I didn't know that. Uh, you
So
were you were sharing so many wonderful cultural things and so many beautiful old pictures and art prints, like the woodblock prints, which show the heritage, I guess, of the revering the chrysanthemum flower. I love that.
mm.
How do you find these? Are these in museums? Is this your own collection? Where do you find these prints from?
Oh, those are we just dig into internet, and lots of time we actually visit those places, but yeah, those are like the exact ones. We kind of should have to go internet.
Yeah.
Mm.
And did you eat this chrysanthemum themed wagashi? It's so beautiful.
This is last year we actually made it.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That looks really
um
difficult to make.
it was really quite hard, and so there's a shop we found on Instagram that there's a sweet shop actually send us a box of like this month's wagashi, and we can there's a like, kit of the each colors and jelly everything in it, so we can actually make it um, watching his video.
Wow, how interesting. Yeah, so many beautiful prints and chrysanthemum culture. You were also, because of the good weather and because it's during COVID, you were doing a lot of tea ceremony outside next to the river.
Mm, yes, that's okay. Let me get the one who actually does that. Now, let me introduce
Yeah, I'd love to.
our staff.
She was doing a lot of on the go tea
Right.
ceremony.
So this is.
Hi, how are you?
Hello. I'm
Thank you.
good. Hello.
Thank you for joining. I love your on the go tea ceremony outside. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Oh, outside.
Like in near the Nanzenji you did on the river. And,
On the river.
oh,
Yes,
like a
yes.
Kamoga River.
Oh yeah, I went to Nanzenji with my picnic tea set and enjoyed seasonal sweets and tea there. It's totally different from typical tea ceremony, but I really enjoyed the atmosphere in Nanzenji temple and the nature. It was super fun.
Yeah.
Mm.
Nanzenshi was one of the ones that I wanted you to introduce because it's a very special place not just to enjoy a beautiful temple, but it has a gorgeous aqueduct.
Oh yeah, it's the Sosui, right?
Sosui.
Yes. You had the picture, okay. Yes, that was super long and very old. Of course, we don't use that now, but we can feel the history of the aqueduct. And of course, it's super popular for travelers. So actually, it was a bit busy there. But if you come to Kyoto, you must go there. It's
Yeah,
super beautiful.
it looks beautiful to take photos and to wander around. So it's so unusual. I didn't realize that Kyoto had an aqueduct.
Yeah, it's
And
very
here,
popular.
yeah, gorgeous. And here we can see you're making the tea outside. Is it more difficult to make tea outside? Is it very different system from inside, I imagine?
Very different from inside tea ceremony. Actually, it's not so really, but just you need to prepare the hot water and some tea utensils, and tea whisk is necessary to make delicious matcha. So, yeah, please don't forget that.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much for introducing that. That's a wonderful way to enjoy tea, even outside, as you're trying to do social distancing or uh, trying to enjoy tea anywhere, right?
Yes.
Now, you had a beautiful bag that you kept all of your tea materials
yeah.
inside. Let me
Yes,
see if I can
actually,
find.
they are not the formal tea utensils, but I choose like special tea bowl and different types of plate for the picnic tea. They are all my favorite tea utensils, so I hope you like them.
Yeah, and a gorgeous bag. Is that your own bag from Kyoto?
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful. Made of wood and wicker, it looks like. But the
Actually, it's a bamboo, I guess.
bamboo, and then the top has a beautiful decoration. It's very
Oh yes.
unusual.
It's a wood and decorated with lacquerware.
Nice. Now, another picture I found of you, since we have you here, you were posing with the dog to talk about the face masks that you guys are making.
Oh, yes.
So maybe it's a good chance to introduce the beautiful face masks since I have you here.
Okay, thank you for introducing that. Should I?
Or maybe walk out.
Okay.
Yes. So, here is our little dog came. Hi. He's still wearing masks.
He is following very good COVID etiquette. Good doggy.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes, that's our dog. So yes, the mask we started selling last August, so it's been like about a year, and probably we sold about 1,000, maybe over
Wow.
1,000. So that yes, we just get together, okay, kind of like a little factory. That so we just cut. We did a lot of foldings and ironing, and then yes, probably I was one of the one who can use the sewing machines. I was like made a lot.
Wow.
So these are some of the designs that we have. So this is the sorry, it's in the packet, but this is actually the camellia, and with a black cat. So beautiful one. This one is like koi cup and wave,
Beautiful.
and some of the actual waves.
Yeah,
So
gorgeous.
I
I
try
love
to.
the bold designs, the bold
Mm,
Japanese traditional designs. Gorgeous.
yeah, yes. We try to find those that are actually 100% cotton, made in Japan, and beautiful like a Japanese designs. So also this cherry blossom. This is one of the where is it most popular one.
Oh, beautiful. Now, this is, of course, something that we talked about a little bit last year, and I don't think anyone expected that we would still need face masks. We would still be having the coronavirus problem in new variants. So face masks are still very important. What a wonderful new transition product for your business. I love that.
Yeah, well, the best thing is that we stop selling this. That there's a world that we don't need this anymore, but probably will need it for another year or two. So yes, I'll be still making it. So whenever
Yeah.
you need, please just let me know.
And they're very reasonably priced. Can you tell us the pricing a little bit?
That's 105. I'm sorry, 1,500 yen per mask, and we started out it's free shipping. Although when was it? June, the Japan Post really put the price up for all the international airmails. So we had to decide to ask for some shipping cost, but that's about 500 yen or 300 yen to Europe. So yes, it's 1,500 yen for one piece. So
Yeah, very
please
reasonable.
check out our website.
Ingrid on Twitter, thanks for joining. She says about $15 approximately. And you mentioned that it takes about 4 days to ship internationally. Is that right?
It's a usual like a standard airmail. So I still have to say it depends.
Yeah, of course.
Mm.
Some areas take longer. I'm now showing your website, beautiful website that you
Thank
have
you.
made, tea-kyoto.com. And you are offering now during coronavirus time, you have interactive online ceremonies, matcha subscriptions, online ceremonies for groups or individuals, and then face masks as well. Is that right?
It's true. Yes, thank you.
And you said you have an upcoming event. Is that right?
It's yes. The next month we're going to do yes in-house event, and Nelton is also the one is our captain. She's our captain.
Wonderful. So, a lot of places around Japan right now are having state of emergency. So, it's very difficult to meet person to person or face to face. But having an online tea ceremony, how has that been? Has that been popular? Is there any problems or any good points about the online experience?
Mm. The good point is that it can be with like a big number, with me, and like it can be like 100 people behind the screen because we can really share together, and also the even different countries can join together. So that's a good side that we found, and yes, we don't really have this like not it happens every day, but I think we are quite popular with this online tea ceremony, and a lot of companies um, actually use it for like training, like a culture training. So those are like interesting point that we have find.
Yeah, that's really interesting. It seems like any company or business which is connected to Japan or traditional tea ceremony would be very interested. Maybe schools as well. Seems like a good idea. You said in Twitter, I believe, that you would send materials in advance and then they could do the ceremony together. Because, of course, there's some necessary items that might be difficult to get in other countries. Is that right?
Yes, yes. So yes, we send out the kit, and yes, so we can really make the demerit. Not I don't want to say demerit, but the thing is that online tea ceremony, even though I make tea, but I can't present to my guests. They can't taste my tea. So that was always kind of like my struggle. And then this we made a deal with DHL, the courier, so they can deliver it quite fast. Still depends on the countries. Some countries have very difficult to get to, but yes, most countries we can send out in about a week. So that's good.
Yeah.
Thing.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because so much of the tea ceremony etiquette, how you pour the tea, how you serve the tea, how you bow, it's all, it needs to be in person. But of course, during this coronavirus time, you can't be in person. So it's nice that you can still continue kind of in a new way, right?
Yes, it's still like for me, it's like you have to come here, you have to be in the same room to feel, please hear this beautiful noise of the kettle boiling, yes, and enjoy this the fresh sweet. There's lots of things that we want more, but for the time being, the best way that we can share is this online tea ceremony with kids.
I wanted to show this beautiful Japanese wagashi sweet as part of the tea ceremony, but this is very important for during this COVID pandemic time. This is the amibie folklore connected theme. Can you tell us about amibie? Because I think a lot of the listeners might not know.
So amabie is the one of the, is it yokai?
Yeah, kind of
yokai. Yokai or like spiritual ghost. I'm not sure, but really like a ghost. Like good translation for yokai. In the Edo period, but Amabie-san is the one good yokai that heals the what's the word? 感染症 like sorry, forgot the word. The heal the virus disease. So I don't know who found it, but when this coronavirus started, this Amabie-san became really, really popular. And in Kyoto, yes, of course, that the sweet shop decided to copy this and make it cute.
I've seen it a lot during coronavirus time, and I heard from Matt Alt and Hiroko Yoda, who wrote books about yokai and Japanese folklore, and they were talking about the amabie and how this story is that she came to some people on a ship and gave them a warning that if they didn't change their ways, some horrible disease would come. And so that's why it's been connected to the COVID pandemic, because there's so many connections. We have to think about how we treat the environment and how we treat, climate change and things. And she is a warning that we need to protect the environment or think about social equity. So I thought that was really interesting.
It's a perfect yokai for us now.
Really is. Now, you've been doing during coronavirus time, you have a very popular social media feed where you often introduce things that you're doing around Kyoto. So, for example, you did this wonderful pilgrimage where you went around to many different shrines and temples and you collected stamps. Can you tell us about this?
That's called Goshuin. It's a you can buy a little booklet, notebook that basically anyway. Yes, it's those and you can go to the shrine and they write with the beautiful calligraphy and big stamp of the place, and also you can just get stamp. Those are I believe those are free, right, Ki-chan? Yeah, okay, so you have to pay. But you can get the stamp, you can also get some calligraphy. It's a fun way to have a good memory, and also it's um, like rewarding to fill the pages. Sorry, I can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry about
sorry.
that. So it looks like after you fill the books with these beautiful stamps, that you can get a prize, like a wooden bookmark or a rice paddle. Gorgeous.
It's a little gift of the fulfilling.
Yeah, they're wonderful. The shrine stamp rally looks so enjoyable. Dave says on YouTube, thanks, Dave. Ingrid says, I love those Twitter threads. Sometimes I interact. She says about Amabie, when a plague comes, draw my image and display it for protection. So that's maybe why we're seeing the Amabie more. It's kind of used to protect us and to hopefully make COVID go away. That would be wonderful. Thank you, Ingrid. She also had a question about the type of tea ceremony. Camellia TeaCeremony performs different types. Do you have a personal preference for the type of tea ceremony that you perform?
When you say type, is that's the Ura Senke, Omo Senke thing? Right. So yes, Camellia has actually various types that we happen to study in the same school that is called Omote Senke. But the majority of my stuff is actually the Ura Senke, and there's actually one Mushano Koji Senke. So we can't actually say that Camellia TeaCeremony do this style. Depends who your tea instructor will be. Then again, the style is different, and yeah, it's. I can't say I prefer. Of course, we like our style, but it's interesting to see the difference of the. It depends which style you see.
Yeah, I didn't realize that there's different styles. Can you tell us a little bit about the materials needed for tea ceremony? So we see the beautiful bowls. How do you take out the tea powder? You would need a special stick or spoon, and then of course the whisk. Can you tell us a little bit about the materials that are needed?
Okay. Sorry, she will bring some of the materials. So on the screen, yes, that is the set. So there's the iron kettle, and on top you can see a little stick. That is the it's called hishaku. That is made of bamboo, and there's also like a big white thing that is you keep the cold water. And when you make tea, you need the tea bowl, you need the tea caddy, and the little spoon. The spoon is made of bamboo, and the whisk. Right. So when you actually make tea, what you need is a tea bowl and the teaspoon about this size, and the tea. This is like the tea ceremony tea caddy, but it doesn't have to be the tea. You need matcha and the whisk, and it's also made of bamboo. So those we need. And yeah, when you make tea, so this spoon, this curve, this is very important. You actually take 2 full teaspoons, put into the tea bowl, pour some hot water. Some, when I say some, is actually it's 80 degrees Celsius, about 60 to 70 milliliters. So that's very specific. And then when you mix, we need this. So you mix it, and it's best that you, okay, again, depending on the styles, how you whisk is also different. And for when you go into like a cafes, you see lots of very like a thick, frothy tea. That's actually the urasenke style. And for us, like the omotesenke style, we don't make that thick froth. We basically just mix, just water and the powder. Then it's hard to say in words, but not as frothy as that. Just mix them together.
Wonderful. We have a comment from Riki Okanda, who has been on the series many times. She is also doing tea ceremony and she loves wearing kimono. Paprika Girl, she says, would you say the chasen is the most important element of making tea besides the tea itself?
Yes. Chasen, the big difference is that, okay, one is the old or new. It's the chasen, the top of this part is actually really, really thin. So when you use it, it naturally starts to go off. And then sometimes on Instagram, you can see the whisk with like half of it, it's completely gone. It's more like really like this hard part remains. Then the tea is not as good, and also it really kind of like scratch the tea bowl, so it's not actually good for a tea bowl and also making tea. So one is new or old, and also second is, I don't want to be really like nationalist, but if it's made in Japan or not. When it's made in Japan, which is means that is from Nara in Takayama region, that's where actually there's at this moment there's 19 families actually make this tea whisk. So if the tea whisk is made in Japan, 99% of the share is from this Nara Takayama region. So it has
very interesting. I didn't realize that. Of course, we want to support the local makers in Japan because these kinds of crafts are kind of dying out. People are losing the ability to know how to make it. And I think Ricky shared a place that she went to, which was making the whisk, and it is such high skilled ability to be able to carve it so delicately from the bamboo. That's definitely something we want to preserve for future generations. So if we can buy from local Japanese makers, that makes a lot of sense for sustainability for sure. Ricky says, yeah, as well, supporting the domestic economy is very best way to support sustainability, no matter where you live. I think that's true. We don't want these whisks to be made quickly by machines. We want to preserve that slow, beautiful, high skilled craft, right?
It's very true.
Yeah.
And also like the whisk that is made by someone who actually know how to make matcha, that's very different. You know, who doesn't know how to use this, or who knows how to use it. So that's very that well, I'm talking about this a lot. It's because I live in the area.
Yeah, that's right. You appreciate it yourself because this is something you're very passionate about, right?
It is, yes.
Let's switch gears a little bit and talk again about sightseeing in Kyoto. Now, recently you introduced Ginko-an and the blood ceiling. So this is a little bit of gore, but it's a very interesting part of Japanese history. And the idea of reusing this wood from a castle in different temples to pray for the souls of the people who died in this way to be at ease. And I thought that was really interesting. It's not just gory, it's about how you move on from some kind of horrible story, right?
Yes, like in Japan, the culture is that when you die, or like in Buddhism, like when you die, you become the spirit. Like you also become the good spirit. So we don't talk about their history. You know, this person we respect as the person who lived. So yes, even though it is really creepy that you can actually see the footprint, you know, of this person. But yes, it's we live with the history. You know, we are the history. So we don't take it as like a haunted house kind of thing. That it's also something we respect.
Yeah, I think it's important. It's a part of life, right? Death is a part of life. Of course, when people die horribly, we need to find a way to move on and find a way to pray that they find the peace, right?
Yes.
And I think that was part of the story that I'd never even heard of this before. And it was in a castle where a lot of people died by ritual suicide. And so that's why you can see some of the images like a kimono cloth imprint or a foot imprint or a doll imprint. So it is really sad to see, but they've reused it in a temple to try to add prayers for people who died in a violent way. And I thought that was really interesting. I appreciate you sharing this insight. I'd never heard of that before.
Yeah, probably like that's the when you live in Hiroshima, it's the you still have lots of like the heritage of the atomic bomb, and we um,
Yeah.
keep praying for the peace.
That's right. It's dark, but it happened, and it's good to remember your history and to find ways to move on in a positive way and try to look for more peaceful ways to resolve conflict in the future, right? Ricky says that's so creepy, cool, and respectful at the same time. You can really feel the history. That's so true. Another story I hadn't heard, you went to a beautiful Zen garden and you were introducing the story about the mother cub in the Zen garden. Can you tell us about that? Do you remember? Let me show the pictures
who
here.
did this? He? You did this?
You share so many beautiful stories on social media. Yeah. I know you have a great team. You have a great team sharing these stories. Yeah.
Yes. Hi. All right. This is Kieran.
Hi. Thanks for joining.
Hello. Usually I don't appear on any of these videos, so as you can see, I'm dressed well for today.
Well, thank you for joining and sharing this story with us. I know that you have a great team there at Camellia TeaCeremony, so thank you so much for sharing all these wonderful stories on social media. So I was really interested in this Zen garden, and it's related to the story of the tiger mother and taking her cubs across the river. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a very old Chinese story, and it's quite strange. They believe that when a mother cub gives birth, that one of the cubs will always be a leopard. So you have two tiger cubs, but the third one will always be a leopard. So it's a kind of puzzle. The mother comes to a river, and how can she get all three cubs across the river? The leopard is likely to eat the other cubs if it's left alone with them. So the puzzle is, how can the mother take each cub across the river one at a time without leaving them with the alone with the leopard?
Wow, it's really, so it's like a riddle. A riddle.
As always with Zen gardens, there's some kind of, it's necessary to kind of think about it or to contemplate kind of a riddle. So the rock arrangements or the arrangement of bushes are supposed to give us some indication of how she can solve this riddle. So it's just a way to kind of free your mind and kind of, not thinking about anything really. But in Kyoto, there are three gardens. So Ryoanji, which is actually over the road from this tea house, many people think that the garden represents this riddle. Also, Nanzenji is another of the gardens that they think represents the story of the mother and her three cubs. And Shodenji, which was made famous by David Bowie, is also supposed to represent this this Zen riddle. Yeah.
Wow, how interesting. And David Bowie might be one of the reasons Kyoto is so famous now. He really fell in love with the place and talked about it a lot, right?
Yeah, David Bowie is kind of interesting because I think he was intending to live here for a time in the late 70s, but his career kind of exploded and he was kind of forced to go back to the UK and America to kind of record more. But while he was here, he knew a lot about Kyoto. When the shochu company asked him to kind of promote their shochu, it was him that came up with the ideas for where to go and where to film. He really had a deep understanding of Zen, and the advertising manager at the time said that even though they lived in Kyoto, they had no idea that these Zen temples existed, and that he just had this incredible knowledge of the local culture. So yeah, it's thanks to him that that temple is doing really well nowadays with foreign tourists, and yeah, it kind of revived the fortunes of that one temple.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you for explaining and joining us.
I will leave you with Atsuko. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I love that. And I love you guys are so active on social media. You're sharing all these wonderful insights about sightseeing in Kyoto, Kyoto's history, heritage, and culture. So, extending from tea ceremony in so many wonderful ways. And I know you guys are so active, and I appreciate you guys so much. Now, another thing you were sharing as a part of the stamp rally, I believe, is about all the different animals and all the temples with the different statues of the different animals. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, I have to get Kiran again.
You can do it. She can do this. She knows this.
So as a part of the stamp rally, there was a lot of posts about all the special animals and the different power, maybe, or different abilities of each animal.
Yeah, the Shishin or Shijin are 4 guardian animals. It's from China, and when Kyoto was created, basically these 4 animals guarded the cardinal points of the city. So north, east, south, and west. And so that particular stamp rally was to collect stamps from temples and shrines connected specifically to those 4 animals. I'm sure Atsuko knows all about them.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think it's helpful because a lot of people they come to Japan and they see all the traditional temples and shrines in Kyoto, but often they have temple or shrine fatigue after seeing so many, and it's
true.
very difficult to see what is different about each one or what is special about each one. So I think when you have animal themes, you can look for a specific animal, or you can do a stamp rally. You can know about the story of the sealing boards, which have a horrible history. I think the kinds of things that you're introducing really help to unpack all of the complicated parts of a visit to a traditional city, right?
It's true. Yes, we have like thousands of the temples and shrines. You don't know which one to choose, and then in the end, you have no idea which one you want.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that you guys are doing that so well and so beautifully with so many wonderful photos on your social media. We have just a few more minutes. Atsuko, is there something you wanted to mention about an event coming up? Can you remind us again?
Okay, so the event will be held on the 3rd of October. And in here, the Camellia Garden, and the theme is the autumn sweets afternoon tea.
Wonderful.
So, yes, so we are going to collaborate with three local shops in Kyoto, 2 sweet shops and 1 tea shop. The owner of the tea shop will come with 4 different teas and teach us how to make the best of it, kind of matching with the sweets. And the last part is I'm going to perform a tea ceremony with a very special sweet that actually she opened 2 years ago in Kyoto, but she's so popular on Instagram, and it's kind of hard to get her switch. So we're very, very happy to collaborate with that, and we can share with our guests. So it's October 3rd, and if you listeners have time to join us, please check out. We haven't really announced it yet. We'll do soon, and yes, we're looking forward to seeing a lot of you.
Wonderful. That sounds amazing. Ricky says she wants to join. And Dave in Osaka says, what tea shops will be involved? Can you name the tea shops?
That's called Rokkaku Chikiriya Chaho, located on Rokkaku Higashino Toin. And actually, the shop is really, really small, but they have variety of teas. And the great thing is that they are really nice people.
Wonderful. Well, definitely check out the website, Kyoto-T, let me get it right, tea-kyoto.com.
Yes, thank you.
For the Camellia TeaCeremony website. And you have a wonderful presence on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, as well as you are also on YouTube, I noticed recently. So you have some very popular videos. I noticed the most popular video is you making tea in the traditional fashion, and 75,000 people have watched it. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Wonderful. And you introduce, like on your social media, in the videos as well, you introduce about tea ceremony, but other things, wonderful insights about Kyoto. Thank you so much for all the wonderful work you're doing, Atsuko, and your wonderful team that we got to meet some of you today. That was really special.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone, for joining, and wonderful questions and comments today. And Ingrid says, thank you for being so internet savvy on Twitter. Thank you so much. And Dave says, what a treat to start the day. Thank you all so much for joining. It's lovely to have you here. And Atsuko, keep up the great work. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Good day.
Bye.